It's time to destroy something that we should never have had in the first place. Some of you will be shocked by this. Only the centre of the Earth has a destructive power required to eliminate this item for good. What needs destroying and why? Let me explain. I'm just looking around here to make sure we're not going to get jumped and pushed in the lava over here. Looks like we're pretty safe, but what item am I talking about? Well, I've had it for a little while and I'll be honest, I felt dirty carrying it ever since I got this item. It is, of course, this bow right here. It's got infinity on it and I don't like it. I really don't like it. I think it shouldn't even be in the game. Infinity is too overpowered and I don't like it. So today we're going to get rid of it. And as my good friend Skizerman would say, get out of here, you piece of junk! Have you gone mad? I can hear you say. No, I have not gone mad at all. Normally I use a mending bow rather than infinity, and I wanted to try it out, but it just doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to me. And here's the reason. The thing is, basically with the infinity bow, you just need to have one arrow in your inventory, and then you can just shoot arrows forever. And that takes a bit of a challenge out of the game. I think I'd much rather have, have to manage my ammo, try and pick my shots when I need to. And most of the time during a game, just holding one stack of arrows is enough for any kind of circumstance. Except when you have to fight the dragon maybe, but apart from that, having a stack of arrows in your inventory is good enough, and that takes up the same inventory space as one arrow anyway. So might as well do that, and then have a mending bow means I don't have to spend any more emeralds or levels or anything like that repairing it once it gets damaged. And so that is the reason that we need to get ourselves a new bow. So I'm going to make a new bow in a minute. Now when it comes to the arrows, I've made another decision, and that is we're not going to trade for them. So obviously these guys over here, they trade arrows, so we could buy a whole bunch of arrows really easily, and that's just as bad, I think. Obviously we could do that, but I don't want to do that either. I want to, at least early game, we don't have a farm yet. We don't have like a skeleton farm. So how are we going to get a load of arrows? Well, I'm going to build a pretty stupid chicken farm. And so I went resource gathering to try and get all the items we need for the farm we're going to build. And of course, this chicken farm is going to provide us with all the feathers we need so we can craft all the arrows. I've got a couple of stacks of arrows already, but our plan today is to fight the dragon, and we're going to need a few more than that. So had to get some cobwebs, then had to get ourselves some acacia logs because we need some acacia trapdoors. That's going to be part of the farm. And last of all, of course, we need a whole bunch of chickens. They're going to be laying some eggs, and we need one other thing as well. And to get that last thing, we need to go on a bit of a journey, and it's worth having a bow now that we've destroyed our last one. So I've got this bow in here, and we've got a punch 2 here. Now all the other enchantments I think we need I can get from villagers, so I want to try our luck with this. We'll get punch 2, see what else we get. Oh, nothing else, just punch, but all the other things we can get from our villagers. So let's buy some books and get this bow finished up. Of course we need power 5, unbreaking 3, mending, and lastly some flame. And now we combine these books, starting with the lowest level together, until we have this book with everything on it. We need a few more levels, so let's buy some glass. And finally, let's add this book onto our bow, which should give us everything we need. Now, what I would like to add is a good name. Some of my other stuff, I don't really like the name of what we've got here, except for this one. I like the Get to the Chopper. So if you've got any suggestions for what we should call this bow or any of our other tools or armor, let me know in the comments, and we should hopefully be able to get our stuff all renamed. But for now, this will just be known as bow. And so our long journey begins along this long and windy river. We've been here before. In fact, we're going back to a location we've already seen before. We're going back to the spruce forest where we've got all of our spruce saplings previously, because we're after a mob. Now, obviously, there's a few mobs that spawn over there. The dogs we've already got, but there is something else we are after. So after a long trek over the hillside, we finally get to the spruce forest. And then there you can see it. There is a fox. So we're after actually 2 foxes, but I need to sneak up on it and try and grab it, which I do with my lead, just like that, and then we can grab this one. There's actually another one underneath on the tree, so if we can get a couple of these, we can breed them up, and then we can get a tamed baby. I managed to snag these 3 foxes. We've got the 2 adults and a baby as well, but what I'll do is tame these 2, or breed these 2 adults, should I say. That will give us a baby, and that baby should trust us. It shouldn't run away. Now it will be kind of want to stay with the parents. So but what we'll do is we'll stick it on a different post over here. We'll breed another one, and then these 2 babies that are not scared of us, we can bring them back to base, and they can be part of our chicken farm. And now with our 2 baby foxes, I'm going to try and get ourselves back to base in one piece at least. I did think about going through the nether, but I think it's a bit too dangerous at the moment. We don't have a good network of tunnels or whatnot, and I want to keep these boys safe. We made it back safe and sound with our new friends, the foxes. They have, of course, since grown up. They were babies when we brought them over, but they'll be a key part of our farm. And yeah, we'll add those a little bit later. But over here, I've made a start on our chicken farm. Here is some redstone. That's going to be the initial start of the whole farm. And this farm's going to stretch all the way over to that spruce tree. So yeah, it's going to be quite big, but let's take this part of it first of all. So what this is going to be where the chickens sit. They're going to sit on top of this hopper. Their eggs, once they're laid, are going to end up in this dispenser. And this piece of redstone is going to wait until this dispenser is totally filled up. And once it's done that, it's going to then shoot out all of the eggs until this is totally empty. And then there's a clock here that will then turn off. So how does that redstone work? Let me give you a super quick tour of that. So we've basically got our dispenser here with the eggs, a comparator coming out of that with a redstone block next to it. So that's comparing the signal. So this comparator will only turn on once this is totally full up. Once that happens, this piston extends, which puts this redstone block underneath this piston, which then extends, and we get an observer clock right here. So that will stay. That clock will then stay on like forever if we don't do anything else, because the block is underneath it, and this is just a normal piston. So to turn the clock off again, we need to turn the clock off once the dispenser is totally empty. So here we have this comparator reading through this block that inverts the signal here. So once this is empty, we get this a redstone signal here, which then pushes this piston, which pushes the redstone block back into its starting position. So if I show you that now, if I get a whole bunch of items, if I start filling this up, you see nothing's going to happen until we get this totally filled up. So fill it up apart from one item, see nothing's happened. But now if I put one more item in here, you can see this turns on, redstone block goes under there, the observer clock is now on, and this is going to keep going until this is totally empty. You can see all our items being spat out over there. So if I just speed this up now by removing all of these, let's just get all these items out. You can see the redstone block gets put back again once this is empty. So these are some test items here. This is going to be eggs being shot out. But what's going to happen to the eggs? Well, I'm going to place down some soul sand here. So have your guesses what's going to happen. But I think it's time to make this farm fully complete and do something interesting with these eggs. So the eggs will be flying around, and yeah, we'll see that in a little bit. But as you can see me building up this farm, let's talk about a few things. So first of all, I've been busy in a test world. I've been designing up a few things for future in the series. One thing is the storage system. I think I've completed that now. I think it's fully operational, ready to bring it into the world somewhere. It's got shulker box loaders, auto sorters. It's got all sorts of different things. It's lag friendly. It locks all the hoppers so we don't get any lag. It batches items together so we have as minimal entities flying around the system as we can, and yeah, different sorters and ways of storing things depending on the item and how many of them we're going to have. And it's big, it's absolutely huge. It's probably big enough for a server full of people rather than just one person, so it's probably overkill for a single player world, but I think it's ready to go now. So just got to find a place to build it. I've also designed up a new farm, and that is going to need a perimeter in the overworld. So we're going to be digging out a big perimeter later on in the season. That's also planned. I've also got plans for at least one, maybe two perimeters in the nether as well. So I've been doing some research on best methods for doing that. Also a lot of bedrock breaking so we can get maximum rates for those kind of farms. So that is all to come in the future. I think I'm ready for a lot of that stuff as well. So yeah, in terms of series, we've got lots of cool stuff coming. Obviously we're still early game at the moment, so we're doing some many smaller builds, some of these more interesting things. It could only really make sense, kind of early game. Not that this chicken farm makes any sense at all, but yeah, it's a bit of fun. Like I said, the last thing I need to decide really is what we're going to do for a mega base. I want to do something really interesting, cool, something big and interesting. So yeah, still racking my brains on that. I put a few ideas on Twitter, but I'm not sure yet. I'm not really decided yet. So that is something I'm still planning. So any more suggestions you've got about what we should do for an epic and impressive mega base, that would be really good. So get them in the comments, and I'll enjoy reading through them. So let's get our fox friends into the farm. You can see I've had to give them some steak. That's because when I broke the leads here, they picked them up, and of course we need them to hold something else, which we'll come on to in a minute. So I had to give them some food, so they dropped the leads, and yeah, now I can lure them over here. So come on, dudes, let's go over here. We've got a new home for you. You're going to live just in here. So come on in. Hopefully that will all work out. Okay, good. And we can take the leads back. All right, so now we've just got to wait for them to eat eat that steak, which hopefully won't take very long. But they're in here. This is your new home, and yeah, let's talk through how this farm is going to work. The last bit of setup we need to do is to get as many chickens in here as we can. This is on top of the hopper, so I've just been spamming all these eggs. I've been collecting eggs in our chicken coop next to our house, so hopefully we should have enough, and then we can give this thing a good test. And this is the last stack of eggs. So I think once we're done with this, I think we can fill this in. Last egg. There we go. Right, let's put the lid on there. So we should be now all be good on that front. Now, obviously, we need to wait for those chickens to grow up and start laying eggs. But I think what we can do now is we can grab some more eggs from our chickens over here and give it a little demo and fill that dispenser up ourselves. Here we are under the farm, and this dispenser is almost filled up. So let's get the last bit of chicken eggs in, and let's get out and see if we can see this thing working. Hopefully, we should see some eggs flying out. Yes, look at this. So the eggs fly out over here. So this is going to happen periodically in our world. We'll just be walking around, and this thing will happen. You can see that all the eggs get shot into this trough here, this kind of little pond here, and obviously some of the eggs will hatch into chickens, and they get flushed down into this hole over here. So this works because obviously the dispenser is set already. Is pointing into these bubble columns. The bubble columns affect the eggs and they shoot them up into the air, gives that nice kind of arc, and then our baby chickens fall down the hole. Now you probably saw from the time lapse that down this hole we have a bunch of cobwebs. You can't quite see it there, but there's a long chute all the way down to the quite a long way, and there's a bunch of cobwebs here. That means that we can hold all of those chickens just there, those baby chickens, in place for about 20 minutes, which is how long that take for them to grow up. And then once they get down to the bottom, there's a little water stream that pushes them into this bubble column, which shoots them all the way up here, and then they go across here. There's another cobweb here just to make sure that they are going to be adults. So by the time they get here, they'll be adults. They'll flutter down here. We'll see them through the trapdoors, which will look pretty cool as well. They'll get down underneath there's another water stream which pushes them this way towards our foxes. So our foxes will be able to do their business because they can see the chickens just in there. The gap's not big enough for items to come through, and these foxes shouldn't be able to pick up any of the drops over there. Now they've still got their steak in their mouth, so I'm just waiting for them to eat that up, and then we can give them a new item, and that item is going to be in here. We've got a couple of fire aspect swords with looting 3 as well, so hopefully that will improve our drops and also give us some cooked chicken. Now that the baby chicks have made it down to the bottom of the cobwebs, you can see them now being pushed over and then shot up through this bubble column all the way to the very top. So they're literally seconds away from growing up, and you can see them there just at the top there. They've been caught by that last cobweb, just waiting for them to grow up, and there you go. Then they fall down, ready with the foxes there. The foxes are waiting, ready for their meal, and of course they've got their swords in their mouths, and you can see them there. They're just hacking away at the chickens, and the drops are going into a hopper minecart, which is inside a block just underneath, so that gets picked up before the foxes get a chance to grab those items. Looks like our 2 foxes are taking a nap after all that work. They've still got their swords, so that is good stuff. Now all of the drops, they come down here underneath. So I've got a little trapdoor here we can go in, and then we can grab all our items. So as you can see there's a hopper minecart that's inside a block, so that picks up all the items super quick. And down here we've got our drops. Now I think we've had 2 rounds now of chickens come through, so not too bad. Obviously this will just grow over time. So we've got our feathers, we've got sticks from our tree farm. So the last thing we need is some flint. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go over to the nether, I think, and see if we can farm up some gravel to get some flint, because I've also crafted a new shovel here. You've got red on you, so anyone know where that comes from? There's a reference, so get that in the comments if you know where that's from. So let's go over to the nether and see if we can get some flint. We're back safe and sound in our basement, so let's check it out. We've got all of this flint, so that was pretty good. Didn't take too long to get that. That's the power of Fortune 3. So I'm not sure I'll ever do that ever again, but that should keep us going with plenty of arrows. So need to wait for some more feathers, and of course all of this is because we're going to go and fight the dragon, and we need arrows to do it. So the other thing we need is some eyes of ender, and I've only got 1 ender pearl. So I don't fancy going farming. In fact, I've got hold of a villager actually. So let's grab some of these. We're going to need these, and I've made a few changes over here. I made a few changes around in the house, get a few more decorations around here just to make this look a bit better. And over there you can see there's a new door. So what I've done here is I've rerouted where the babies come out of the villager breeder. So they used to come out of a hole just here. So I've just changed the water underneath to go into here instead. So I'm going to still do some work on this. This is not quite finished. And over here I've added a brewing stand, and here's our guy, and already unlocked him. So here he is with an emerald trade. So let's get a whole bunch of these ender pearls. Very good. So do it till he locks out. Right, we'll probably do another round of those in a bit. But yeah, we'll get some of these together and we can make our Eyes of Ender. And I think I want to make a few more ender chests as well. So let's turn all of these into Eyes of Ender. Now that we have all the Eyes of Ender that we need, it's time to throw them and find our way. So from our main base, we are now traveling due south, and along the way we find some amazing scenery. Just check this out. Look at this. Looks amazing. So we're going to end up going through a jungle here, and look in the background, there are some nice mountains there as well. The scenery is looking amazing. So just a case of throwing these eyes until we get to the stronghold, really. And yeah, it didn't take too long, and this is going to be good. It's now pouring with rain, but I think we found it. I just threw an eye and it went down. There we go. It went down. So we're in the right chunk. So this is what we need to be. So we need to dig down and yeah, see if we can find this thing and see. Oh, there it goes. It popped up here. Awesome. Right. So I guess we're just going to dig down and hopefully we'll come across this fortress. Look at this. We're in. Yes. Okay. There we go. We are in the stronghold. There we go. I spy. We got the advancement. Okay. Let us look around. See if we can find the actual portal room. I think we found the portal room. Let's get in here and see what's what. There's also a chest here. Do we get other side? No, another ender pearl, but I'll leave that there. We can come back for that. And I think I'm just gonna break this spawner. Wait, hold on. What's that chest for? Wait, hold on. What? Why is there a chest here? That is a bit weird. Anything else weird in here? No. Okay. I mean, okay. Let's see what's in here. Spectral arrow and some bottles. Oh wait, wasn't this to do with the prophecy? This might be important. Okay, let's set up base here, set our spawn, and then we'll get in here and kill the dragon. It's time to go in. I've set my spawn over there and left some backup items over there. So the portal is lit and I've got my bits and pieces, plenty of arrows thanks to our chicken farm. We've only got one spectral arrow, and if I remember the prophecy correctly, we have to make the killing blow with the spectral arrow, and we also need to collect some dragon's breath. So it's a good job that was here actually. That was a bit lucky. But anyway, we need to make that shot count, so I'll keep that in reserve ready. So let's get in here and give this dragon what for. Okay, there is a long way over to the island, so let's bridge over and hope this doesn't go disastrously wrong. Okay, we're on top. Don't look at the Enderman. Don't look at the Enderman. I'm also going to try adding some water, so hopefully we can do this, and that will be a safe place we can run to get away from the Enderman if they cause us any bother. Let's grab some dragon's breath while we're here. Yes, we got that. Awesome. Get a bit more if we can. Okay, I think she's almost dead. I've got the spectral arrow in my offhand, so hopefully this time we can just get her with one shot. This is going to be the last shot, the killing blow. This is to fulfill the prophecy. We have to kill her with the spectral arrow. So, and I've only got one, so we have to make this count. Hopefully we can do it, not be a total failure. Here she comes. Ready, and go. Yes, we did it. We did it. We killed her with a spectral arrow. Yes. Okay. Awesome. Oh, I can't believe it. We did it. Yes. And with that, the end is free and a new gateway has appeared, and I've put it up there ready to go over to the end islands. And that one is actually just above the spawn platform, so that's pretty convenient actually. We might be able to maybe add a bubble column so we can quickly get from spawning into the end up into the gateway. But yeah, I think now it's time to go and get some shulker boxes and finally some wings. After going through the gateway, we spawn on this chorus fruit, which was a bit unique. But then it's a case of exploring the end, doing lots of bridging, more bridging, and then of course even more bridging. Look at this. So we're exploring for absolutely ages and all across the land trying to scour it for the end cities, and I couldn't find a single one. In fact, I scoured it so much we ended up at this world border that I've put in, so we've got some space to expand into 1.19 once that comes out. So I decided to double back, do some more bridging. You can see some other bridges there, and then quite close to our original gateway, look what we find. Not one, not two, not three, but 4 end cities all together, and 3 of them have got ships. And so the first thing we need to do, of course, is to pillar up and try and get ourselves our very first wings. So we pillar up, we get to the very top, and then we have to break into this ship. But of course the elytra are guarded, so we have to come inside. We have to tackle this first shulker, and grab our wings, our very first wings. We call them X-Wings, and apply a book I brought with us with unbreaking and mending on it. And at last we've got wings. Wings I have not used in something like 9 months. I haven't played survival with wings for about 9 months, and this is the first time we flew around, and this was feeling absolutely amazing. Great stuff. And now, once we've got our wings now, we can just land and then take on some of these cities and just try and get ourselves a handful of shulker boxes to get ourselves started. And it's one shulker after the other. And I certainly think I experienced some of these shulkers duplicating. I'm sure I heard them damaging themselves, and then I definitely saw a few shulkers here and there in areas I didn't expect them to be, so that's definitely something. But of course we're going to use that later on in the series to build a good shulker farm, so we're going to have shulker shells coming out of the wazoo, as they say. And then I thought, well, we've got the other 2 ships here, so let's grab the wings from both of those. It'd be good to have some backup wings. Obviously we'll enchant those, keep them in our ender chest, and obviously have to take care of the shulkers that are guarding them, but that's no bother now. Now we've got our wings, it's now time to go back home. We go through the gateway, and then of course we end up on the spawn platform. Then it's just a quick walk over to the gateway, and we can get through. We arrive back at spawn, but of course we can now fly back to our house and have a good night's sleep. Look at these beautiful wings. Oh, they look great, and they feel great as well. Really happy that we got these now. But let me show you what else we got. So if I go over here and stick down this ender chest, we didn't get too much, but obviously the important thing is the wings we've got on, and also put the other stuff in this shulker box. So you've got a little bit of armor, some diamonds, 2 elytras, which is the important thing, and 18 shulker shells. I didn't go crazy looting all of those cities. I only looted one of the relatively small ones. So but yeah, that's good enough to get us going. So we've got 10 shulker boxes in total. That is good enough to get us started. So obviously, as I said, we're going to do obviously a proper shulker shell farm, so we'll do all of that in good time. But now the first job is, with our new wings, is to get rid of this monstrosity. We don't need this long ladder anymore. We can just fly up here when we need to AFK, and in fact all of the storage up here for the gunpowder is actually full up. I've actually just had a quick check, so we won't need to do this for that much longer, but we've got a good supply now of what we need for gunpowder for the rockets. So let's get rid of this thing. We don't need it anymore. We killed the dragon with the spectral arrow that we found in the portal room. Not quite sure how that chest got there, but it reminded me of the prophecy, and that is really important, of course, because our dogs are missing and we want them back. We need to get our dogs back. So I've dug out the book, the prophecy book, and check this out. On page 4 over here, it says, legend has it that the curse can be lifted using the breath of a dragon killed with the arrow of the spectrum. Well, we've done that bit. We've killed the dragon with a spectral arrow, but we need to somehow use the dragon's breath to cure the villagers. So yeah, I'm not quite sure how we're going to do that, but what I was thinking, because dragon's breath, you can't really use that on its own. You can't drink it or splash it or anything like that. When you normally cure villagers, you use a weakness potion. So maybe we can combine the dragon's breath and a weakness potion, and maybe we can do something with that might help the situation. So here's my theory. We've got this lingering potion of weakness, and I reckon let's throw it on the dragon's egg. That seems like it might be fitting, and hopefully that is going to cause these villagers over here maybe to get all cured and be back to normal people and stop all this murmuring. All right, let's give this a try, shall we?
Thank you, Logic, for rescuing me. I am Cassandra. I am the leader of the people you know as the villagers. Zorgan banished me many years ago, but thanks to you, I am free again. I have something for you. It will help you complete your quest to beat Zorgon and reunite you with your loved ones. Follow me.